it's Brak here, and it's that time of the month once again where I get to have a look at all the monthly releases from Gearguts Mekshop. And boy, are there some beauties to have a squiz at today. So without any further ado, let's go and check them out. Lucky Bruiser Armoured Mechanic Boss A. With so many vehicles, mechs and titanic constructions moving, it takes more than a few mechanics to get the job done. Those who have a true aptitude for machines will eventually rise in the rank, becoming bosses, and will gather themselves the best tools possible to satisfy their fixation on a smoothly running war machine. The Lucky Bruisers are no exception to this, and will go out of their way to loot the best bits to add up to their collections, often time adding various sensors and scanners that they themselves have no clue the function of to their body armour. Armoured Tinbot Veterans A. With their chainsaws revving, the armoured Tinbots make their way with one goal in mind: slaughter. Their crude Bruiser-built cybernetic brains have been given a single task: rip and tear anything that comes into smaller lootable pieces. That's two things I would have thought. Boom Buggy B. When bruisers get wealthy enough, they will start having a need for speed. They will then scrap together what parts they can and cobble together a crude buggy. These buggies often make up the scouting force of the Bruiser army and come armed with all sorts of odd weapons and features. Daka daka daka. That's a fine pair of Doggosaur Chompers, eh? The Doggosaur Chompers prove that even a boss wants a Doggosaur as a mount. Some will be too vicious or hungry to tame and will remain wild beasts. Instinctively, the Doggosaurs will still follow the Bruiser force, knowing that the green skins will eventually lead them to tasty treats, and then can be seen bounding and leaping throughout the battlefields, gobbling up any foe they can close their impressive jaws around. Currently there are no in-game rules, but you can use various conversions as they are rather large Doggosaurs. Fuel Tanker A. While most bruisers love the feeling of raw acceleration as they are pushed against their seats or struggle to hold on to their rides as the engines kick in, many have learnt of the woes of running short on fuel before reaching the foe. Over time, and many headaches from thinking too hard, the bruisers finally realised that having more fuel meant they could keep their vehicles running longer. The fuel tankers were built with this in mind, of being able to keep up with the rest of the buggies, trucks and Dakka wagons, to keep up all the more aggressive vehicles topped up mid-battle. Gbots more than meets the eye. Gbots B. Patrolling the edge of the rebellion warfronts, the Gbots make excellent armoured scouts. The goblins' innate paranoia giving them rather heightened senses, the Gbots can spot foes far earlier than most and deal with the threats appropriately with their explosive rockets. Pew pew pew! Bang! Naught B. When goblins go to war, it's with all sorts of strange constructs. Many will scuttle their way across the battlefield on excessive legs. Others will emerge from hidden positions. The Gnaughts, however, are not so sneaky, as they will act as walking fortresses, blasting away with a multiple of ranged weapons at distant foes as it draws fire to itself over lesser comrades. Sneaky, huh? Goblin Commander C. As the Goblin Rebellion evolves, they will, akin to the Bruisers, look to the largest or tallest amongst their ranks for leadership. Goblins, being goblins, will often try to sneak around this requirement, resulting in crude alliances to ensure power. Goblin Vehicle Crew A. Wanting to add a bit more madcap adventures to your builds? This kit is exactly what that has in mind. This conversion kit enables you to have some goblins behind the wheel of your vehicles, be they scratch built or converted. They look pretty funky too. G-Pod B. Clanking along, precariously balanced on 3 legs, the G-Pods make up a series of crude walkers which the goblins employ. Released in squads, they wobble and rock as they clamber across the battlefield using their crude ranged weapons to devastating effect against distant foes. Can you see? Can. Heavy G-Pod A. When the goblins go to war, their diminutive forms are often overshadowed by various constructs they keep under their care. Though lacking the brutal nature of their larger Bruiser kin, the goblins will make up it with crude cunning and sometimes concerningly creative designs. The heavy G-Pod is a prime example of this. Clambering forward on its 3 legs, its multiple of ranged weapons will make up more than enough to cover the lack of real sense of accuracy when they open fire. In game terms, this would probably represent a death threat. Looted Tank G. When bruisers go to war, they will do so with seemingly endless variations of armoured vehicles they have salvaged from previous battles. These will come in all shapes and sizes. Built will have a few key similar features, namely some sort of big gun loud enough to shake the earth when it fires, and the same brutal intent of design that is shown any time the bruisers build anything. Mega Mini Tank F. While most mini tanks will roll forward on long tracks as they sail across the battlefields, some have built a tad more creative form of locomotion. This is a prime example of goblins running with a theme, and rather than making improvements upon a design, they instead just make more of it. The Mega Unit Tank F scuttles across the battlefield on 14 legs, its clattering gait mimicking the waves of the sea. It's a Mech Baby F. Lumbering across the battlefields with a ponderous gait, the Mech Babies are some of the first true titans the Bruisers will construct. They come both armed and armoured for war. They are more than capable of stomping most other foes into scrap. Oh, what a beast. I love this one. Naught F. The Naughts, titanic constructs built to transport elite bruisers across the battlefield and to act as mechanical battering rams to smash the foe's line apart, be it with their crushing claws or deadly cannons. While bruisers are known for being unpredictable in their design, they do follow a set background pattern of being large, stompy, and ready to flip a tank with relatively ease. Odd Bruiser G. As the bruisers muster for war, some of their ranks will begin to experience strange visions and manifest peculiar powers. They will begin to speak in tongues, and lightning will crackle among their skin. The other bruisers, rather than becoming concerned for their kin's plight, will instead armour them in copper to keep the lightning contained and weaponize them against their foes. These odd bruisers will then drift across the battlefield, channeling their powers into devastating bursts of energy, all the while giggling or muttering to themselves. Pirate Bruiser Boss D. Yo ho ho, me hearties. When the pirate bruisers go to war, they are led by vicious captains. These bosses long to rule the high seas, though they rarely have ever seen water or the concept of an ocean. Instead, they sail the sea of stars, making war upon any they landlubbers they come across. This captain carries a massive cannon, and along with his crude cybernetic arm, is ready to install both order and fear into his underlings to make sure they bring back the best booty. Pirate Bruiser Clawwalker C. The pirates remained obsessed with the sea, even if they've never seen one. This obsession has led to some rather interesting designs, from flying boats to walking fish. This crude construct is both incredibly similar and yet different than other claw walkers. Its quad rockets able to deal devastation on the battlefield, even if its design is a little more than a little fishy. I'm gonna get you, little fishy, 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 boom, boom, boom. Pirate Bruiser Tank Hunters B. While most tank hunters will use explosive rockets on their targets, the pirates have gone with a far more traditional route, lugging around huge cannons capable of explosive rounds. Boom! These pirates will make it their goal to cause the largest explosion possible, both to satisfy their damaged eardrums, as they can hear next to nothing, but also to impress their kin with a worthy boom. Pirate Bruiser Goblin Crew A. While Bruisers are best known for their physical might and aggression, they are, however, not the best at keeping supplies around and will often bully their lesser kin into acting as living pack mules. These goblins will follow their Bruiser masters, carrying anything that their small frames can lift, in hopes they get bullied less if they do a good job. Oh, these are so cute. Pirate Bruiser Pyros A. While most pirates will prefer to keep whatever scrap they can intact so that it can be rebuilt later, the Pyro Bruisers prefer to make sure anything they loot comes with a good coating of char and ash. These bruisers are obsessed with burning and will go out of their way to torch as many foes as possible. Burn, baby, burn. Pirate Veterans D. When a pirate bruiser grows in size and fame to be recognised as a veteran, they will often have collected enough loot to get themselves an oversized exotic weapon and will become obsessed with firepower. Their instructional competitive nature will also draw these like-minded nuts together into deadly squads that will level anything they aim vaguely towards. Primo Boozer Boss B. The Primal Boozers are a hearty lot. Their existence is defined by the perpetual hunt. Their bosses are the victors of countless battles, making names for themselves by deed and action, and will be seen wearing trophies of past victories, like that big massive skull he's got on his shoulder. Speed Bruiser Dogosaur Buggy A. With engines roaring, the Speed Bruisers will take to their war machines, speeding across the battlefield and leaving naught but ruin and thick smoke in their wake. Oh, what a nice, slick design. Yeah, that's a good one. I need a new squeak truck. Truck H. Bruisers love nothing more than getting stuck into combat as quick as possible, though most will be content with simply booting it across the table or battlefield. Those with a touch more cunning will secure themselves a transport, both to ensure they get across the battlefield quicker, but also with a bit more protection along the way. They will make use of trucks of all shapes and sizes to achieve this goal. Another design I like. Oh, that's nice. Well, there you have it. That's January's releases from Gearguts. So what'd you think? A lot of good pirate stuff. I do like the veteran pirates. I also like the little goblins. They were quite nice. That big, the baby walker, that's about Stomper plus a bit more. Yeah, that looked pretty good. I even liked the fishy thing. There was some really interesting stuff and some buggies that I might get my hand on. So what was your favourite? Which do you think you might like? Now remember, if you want them a bit cheaper, check out my affiliate links. I'll be below in the description and you can get cheap stuff. Just remember, Brak Da Warboss is the code. And if you are going to get them, hey, it's not a bad way of doing it. You can get them from Gearguts in the Americas, OTP Train, Australia, and Fully Cycle, Europe, UK based. So go, check them out. Which one do you want to get? What do you like the most? Comment below. Let's have a conversation. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, subscribe and share. Do all the algorithmic things. And if you would like to help me out financially, there's always Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. The links are in the description. Okay, trying to toddle off. So remember, if you go on crumping, you've got to bash early and bash often.